Hey guys, my name is Natalie and I just got back from a 2-month solo backpacking trip through Europe and I saw over 15 countries. And so I wanted to put together a video of 3 countries that I personally think are not worth the hype. This is just a quick disclaimer before we get into these countries. This is my own personal opinion. After visiting the countries, this was my experience. And so if you don't agree with me, that's okay. Let me know in the comments. Let's have a conversation, okay? The first European city that I think is not worth the hype and you really should not go to is Rome. First of all, when I went to Rome, it was the middle of the summer, and so it was extremely crowded. You literally could not walk on the sidewalk without running into another person. It was not enjoyable at all. It was also very hot, so when you're hot, you're hungry, and you're surrounded by a lot of people that are sweaty, you're just not really happy. So I don't think I was in the right mindset, and because it was so crowded, the lines everywhere were terrible. Some of the lines were so long, it's like you have to literally plan an entire day of standing in a line in order to get into one of the buildings or to see one of the historical sites. Again, this was when I went in the summertime. It could be different in the winter time. The next thing I did not like about Rome is how expensive the city is. I visited over 15 countries and saw many different cities within all those different countries, and I just thought Rome was very expensive. I think I paid 12 euros for a slice of pizza one time, which was crazy. And the pizza wasn't even that good. It wasn't even a popular place. I think I got ripped off. That's another thing I don't like about Rome is obviously it's a very popular tourist destination. So there's going to be a lot of people that are trying to scam you, like just randomly charging you 12 euros for pizza. And then you tap your credit card and you look later. It's like, why did I just spend $12 on a slice of pizza? It's crazy. Or it's if you're walking near the Colosseum, someone's going to pickpocket you. And then next thing you know, you're out a wallet, a phone, like whatever you have in your fanny pack that's like wide open. I do have another video about how to not get robbed when you are solo backpacking throughout Europe. So if you want to learn more about how to prevent thieves from stealing your stuff, click this video up here or in the description box down below. The other thing I did not like about Rome was there are so many different tourist traps throughout Rome. It's really hard to walk around and enjoy the history and the atmosphere without second guessing everything. Like if you go into a restaurant and you notice on the menu there's big pictures of food and there's people outside the restaurant saying, come on in, like welcome, ciao, come on in. And you're like, oh, like that's so nice, okay. It's a tourist trap. Like they're trying to get you to come in, and a tourist trap basically means the food isn't authentic and the prices are inflated. So I just felt like there were a lot of those everywhere. If you start to explore outside of Rome a little bit, you'll start to find more authentic food. All of the different like travel gurus and like travel blogs will suggest going to the restaurants that are in the middle of the tourist hubs. So like I found it very challenging to enjoy just walking around because I felt like I was walking into so many traps. Finally, this is just my personal preference again, but I'm a beach girl. I like being close to the beach, and obviously Rome is not next to a beach. When you go to Rome, you're basically walking through history. If you enjoy going to museums and you enjoy submerging yourself into history, then Rome is going to be the place for you. I personally don't enjoy doing that. Like I would rather be on the beach or just exploring a waterfall. One other thing as well, the accommodations are very expensive in Rome too. I dropped like a decent amount of money on my Airbnb, and it was probably the crappiest Airbnb I've ever stayed in. There was no air conditioning. They advertised it as being an air conditioned. It was a really bad experience. If you want to go to a much more authentic Italian city, I would recommend going to Bari, Italy, which was amazing. Food was super good. I'll make another video about the cities in Europe that you should go to. The second city that I do not think is worth the hype and is definitely not worth your time is Zagreb, Croatia. Now, I did make another video on this and I'll throw it up here. I got a lot of backlash and a lot of people are like, you need to explore the city more. You didn't do it well enough. I get it. Like, again, I'm just going to say it one more time. This is my opinion. This was my experience walking through the city. Maybe someone else would do it in a different way, but this is how I experienced it. I thought that there was pretty much nothing to do in Zagreb at all. You can see the world's shortest funicular. Beyond that, there's really not a lot of historical landmarks to go and see. The buildings aren't really that beautiful. Walking around, I felt like all the buildings were like either burned down, there was graffiti everywhere, or there was trash everywhere. It just felt very dirty, not pretty. I didn't want to just whip out my phone and start taking pictures. I did not think that the food scene in Zagreb was good at all, and I'm a huge foodie. And again, I went to 15 countries across Europe and I tried a lot of food in every single country. I thought the food in Zagreb was next to disgusting, but it was cheap. Like, that's the positive thing. It was very cheap. I did get a pasta from a restaurant. I don't remember the name. I'll throw it up here. I got a pasta. It was like green with salmon in it and shrimp. And I'm not going to lie. Like, I'll try anything. I'm like very open to trying new food, but I almost wanted to vomit. Like, it was like a cream sauce or something. It wasn't good. The flavor was not there. The texture was nasty. The service was extremely nice though. Like, the guy was so nice, so kind, very attentive. That was disappointing for me. The one place that I absolutely loved in Zagreb though was the place called the Bread Club. And this place has the best pastries in the world. Their food scene is terrible, but the only exception is Bread Club. Okay. Again, just my opinion. That's all I have to say. And then the third city that I think is absolutely not worth the hype is Milan. I think Milan is basically just a glorified New York City. And then in some ways it kind of reminds me of Chicago a little bit. I didn't think it was that fun to walk around. Like, there's a lot of things to explore and see, so that's good. Like, if you're a city person and you want to see all the pretty buildings and like the history and like fashion and whatnot, then Milan's probably the place for you. But it's not for me. Milan basically has the old city and then like the new city. So like the old city has all obviously like the older buildings and historic like landmarks and stuff. The new city is where like the financial district is, and a lot of people in Milan like hate that area because it just completely destroyed the old city aspect of Milan. It just feels more like modernized and people don't like that, which I totally get. It just felt like another city. It is easy to get around though, so like that is a plus. I also thought it was very expensive. And if you're exploring any city, it's typically going to be expensive. Like, that's not anything new. I remember there was one pizza place that was like super, super popular in Milan. It was one slice of pizza. Again, I think I dropped almost 10 euros for a slice of pizza. And I'm like, this is so stupid. And it wasn't even like that good. You could go to Bari, Italy, I'm telling you, and get an entire full pizza to yourself for like less than 5 euros and be super, super fresh with like seafood straight from the water that you're staring at. Like, I also felt like Milan was crowded. I don't like it when cities are super crowded. I get it. I was traveling in the middle of summer, so like, yes, there's going to be a lot of people, but there were also other cities that I went to that were not as crowded and much more beautiful to like absorb and soak in the beauty of the buildings and the culture and the food and the people. I didn't feel that in Milan. Those are the 3 cities that I personally do not think are worth the hype to go and visit and see for yourself. Again, this is my opinion. This is just comparing every single city that I went to against each other. Those are the 3 that I really did not like. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if you disagree with me. We can have a conversation about it in the comments down below, and let me know if you want more videos on planning your first solo backpacking trip to Europe and how to prepare for that, or travel guides, anything like that. Let me know. I would love to make this for you guys. So that is it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.